Today we have a topic principal component analysis. When we discuss about the dimensional reduction means we are trying to reduce the features, number of the features. When we have the large number of the features, then overfitting may occur. When we have the less number of the features for building the model, underfitting may occur. So at the time, there will be not a good idea to use overfitting, underfitting with your model. From this portion, we need to start our principal component analysis, and the purpose of PCA is to reduce the dimensionality. Dimensionality means we are talking about the number of features. We will see this concept theoretically as well as the numerical. So, with this point, you will understand the concept simply. And some mathematics is required. I hope you can understand and you can solve the problem mathematically with a simple way. So there is only the one model where we have the long computation. Long computation means long different kind of the flavor of the mathematics. With these words, I'm going to start the PCA. PCA stands for, so I'm repeating once again, principal component analysis. And let me inform you all, principal component analysis PCA is a method, as a technique or algorithm which is used to reduce the dimensionality, and it is unsupervised learning model. Okay, so just listen carefully. So see this slide where you can found that principal component analysis is an unsupervised learning model, as I told you, and it's a non-parametric statistic technique. Why I'm saying it is statistically, because as we know in the statistically, when you try to solve any problem with the help of the PCA, that is principal component analysis, some statistical model is required, just like the mean, variance, standard deviation. All these are what? These are the various flavor of the statistical model. So when you study about any statistical model or statistical tool, then you will be keep in mind mean, variance, and of course standard deviation. All these are the part of the our statistical model. So all these things are required to implement or to manage the PCA based problem. That is the important point. So in the machine learning, the purpose or the objective of using the PCA to reduce the dimensionality. Okay, from this point, I'm going to switch to the next slide, which describe the entire thing properly. So please focus on the concept properly rather than the wasting time. Just focus on the concept. Principal component analysis and unsupervised learning algorithm, as I told you, and it is used to reduce the dimensionality in the machine learning. That is the most important term we have to keep in mind. Next step is saying to us it is a statistical process. And if I'm saying it is statistical model, a statistical process, then what is the purpose of doing this activity? What is the purpose of using to say it is a statistical model? The purpose of statistical process is saying to us it converts the observation of the correlated features. So as you know, we are talking about the correlated or correlations. So definitely we will see what is mean by the correlation. So when we have the some features which are correlated and some features those are not correlated. So how we can manage the such thing, and that is the required portion we need to keep in mind, like over here. Just like example, if we're talking about the marks information we have, okay, and we have the weight information of the student. So what is the relationship between the, what is the correlation between the weight and marks? No. So from this perspective, we need to understand. We will leave the weight features and we will opt the mark features. So that is the point we need to keep in mind. If you're looking for the students marks, statistical marks data, then we will choose the marks feature rather than the weight feature. So from that point, we need to understand what is meant by the correlated features and uncorrelated features. From this perspective, from this perspective, we will understand the PCA. And the word I have written over here, that is the important point. You people are required to carefully orthogonal transformation. So when you try to transfer your correlated features into set of the linearly uncorrelated features, then orthogonal transformation play important role. So that is the important point we need to keep in mind while learning the PCA. And after the transform your information, it means after transform your features 1, 3 to 2, or maybe the 5 to 2 or 3. So you are just trying to reduce the dimensionality. It means suppose you are choosing the 6 different features. So your information, your features should be reduced by 6 to 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so that is the point. So from this perspective, what we are doing, we are transform our features into the its low dimensionality, and this steps or this transformation information, the information we have, that is known as the principal component. Okay, so from this point, don't worry. Numerically, I will show what is mean by the principal component. Okay, so that is the point we need to keep in mind. And ultimately, the important last statement we have written over here, the PCA generally try to find the lower dimension surface to project the high dimension data. So what we need to do? We need to transform our high dimension data into the low dimension. So the complexity we can reduce, and our information can be computed in easy way by using the low dimension data. So this is just introductory part about the PCA, that is the principal component analysis, as I'm speaking over here, and you can edit out from this portion right now. So for the theoretical purpose, I have just shared my notes over here, so it will help you to understand the PCA detail. Even talking about the more theory part over here about the PCA, then you can observe over here the high dimensionality means we are talking about the large set of the large number of the features, large set of the features. Please note down this point. I'm just highlighting or underlining the point. High dimensionality means large number of features. Okay. From this point, you people are required to keep in mind, and I speaking once again over here, if you're trying to use high dimensionality in the machine learning, then it means you're doing the overfitting. Okay, so as I told you, that is a this point we already discussed. So we will not go this part again in deeply manner. Now, when talking about the its more theoretical portion over here, so that is curse of the dimensionality. This is the point you people are required to keep in mind. What is mean by the curse of the dimensionality? Curse of the dimensionality is saying to us, and which is proposed by the Richard Dahlman and 1961, and he proposed that this term is curse of dimensionality, and it's saying to us, if you try to build a model following by an algorithm with the help of the number of the large set of the features, then definitely your model will be overfitted. There is no guarantee your model provides the better result. And if you are doing this, its reverse part, just like you're following the minimum number of the features, then what we have, your model also go into the underfitting. So the term which is to be proposed by the Richard Dahlman, many algorithms that work fine in the low dimension become the imperceptible when the input is high dimension. So if you try to solve any problem with the large number of the feature, the idea to you can solve your problem with the minimum number of the feature. So your model will fit in a better way, and you will get the accuracy high value, and that is a good point. So this is a curse of the dimensionality. Curse of dimensionality means if you are looking for the high number of the dimensionality, there is no guarantee you will get the better result. Okay, that is a okay. So this theoretical portion is clear to all right now. This theoretical portion is clear. So far we have discussed the important point. Yes, to tell me.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Okay.
No, sir.
Any doubt to understand what is mean by the PCA and what is mean by the principal component, or any doubt you are having like the high dimensionality, low dimensionality, and curves of the dimensionality terms. Now everything is clear.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, thank you. So now we have this diagram. This image will show you to all the people right now. You can see D equal to 1 means we're talking about dimension 1. So if I'm using dimension 1, then I can say I may jump into the low dimensionality. Okay, so it's not low dimensionality. We can say we are using the too much low dimensionality, or we can say the too less dimension, only one dimension. So there is no guarantee our model will provide the better result. Okay, so if you're choosing this one, if you're choosing this one, then your model may into the underfitting. Okay, and that is a point we have to keep in mind. Underfitting. Suppose you are choosing the this model just like dimension equal to 3 for understanding purpose only, for just sake of the understanding we are looking for this model right now. So you can see when I am using the d equal to 3, it means dimension equal to 3. So what we are observing over here, your model may into the overfitting, but although practically if you're choosing the 5 to 6 feature doesn't mean, but you are choosing the 10 or 12 or 20 features, so then your model definitely will go into the overfitting. Okay, so that is the point. So suppose I'm a model, I'm fitting or I'm building a model by d equal to 1, dimension to 1. My model go into the underfitting. I'm building my model by using the d equal to 3 or dimension equal to 3 or features equal to 3. So my model go into the overfitting. So this is a d equal to 2 is a better approach. I can make my model in better way, because in this model I am getting the high accuracy. So I will go for the d equal to 2, means dimension equal to 2, or we can say features equal to 2. But this diagram will show it to shows to you what is mean by the dimension actually. If you're choosing the d equal to 1, it means only the one axis is sufficient. But when choosing the d equal to 2, dimension 2 means two axes will be there, x axis and y axis, and that to be represented by over here x1, x2. But I'm talking about d equal to 3, it means I'm talking about the three different dimensions. Those are recognized by the x1, x2, x3, or x, y, z. So there are many features you can use for build your model, but there is no guarantee you will go into the better way. And this is the point where we can start our work properly. Now let's understand its important point. So this is a theoretical portion. So I have written over here. So just I can summarize this statement in simple way, and you can understand when you just try to reduce your model, you reduce your features, then your model may go into the boosting approach or boosting process to provide the better, or we can say the high accuracy. Because we always look for a better accuracy or best accuracy after building the model. So when you try to build any model, so we will expecting we are getting the good accuracy. So we are getting the accuracy 40%, then there will be no sense to make a such kind of a model. So definitely we are looking for the good model and which for the accuracy more than 80, 85%, 90%. So we can say we are having the good model. So that is the point we need to keep in mind. So here I'm just remembering the important point, so I can share some points over here to all the people. Then you can understand. PCA is just more applicable where we are discussing about the image compression. See, I've written over here image compression. So when we have an image, so an image can have the its own value following by the its color intensity, color value, and some information handled by the noisy. So when we have any information in terms of the image, an image can have the actual data along with its noisy data. So we try to reduce some information into the image, then we will try to reduce its noisy. Just like example of here, suppose I'm making a data set, I'm just making a student's result data set, then I'm putting the mark, it will be good, but I'm putting the student weight and height. So what is the role of choosing height and weight for making the mark sheet? There will be no sense. So these two data set become as a noisy data set. Okay. So here just I'm marking over here. Suppose here we have the marks 1, marks 2, okay, marks 3. So these are the three data set, but I'm expecting here the student weight I'm putting, and I'm putting the height. So if I'm having the 5 different features like this one over here, so what I'm observing over here, marks are the good features, but these two features I'm just determining weight and height are not important features, and at the time these are becomes as a noise. Okay, because these are the unimportant. So these are the becomes as a noisy. So we can filter out, we can remove these features. So previously what I have the 5 features. Okay, so I'm just with the help of the PCA, I can have 3 features, and those are the marks 1, marks 2, and marks 3. So this process is just what? This process is just basically applicable in anywhere, but in the image processing when while doing the image compression approach, and this is the batch approach. From image compression, I'm just remembering an example. When you have an image, suppose you are having an image in form of the BMP .bmp. .bmp stands for the bitmap, and suppose this file contain by the its size approx 4 MB. Okay, it's too large image, size of the too large. But we have an important image compression technique, that is JPG. So JPG is an extension of the file, but it is also known as a Joint Picture Photographic Expert Group. Actually, it is a name of the our image compression technique. With the help of that one, we can transform our BMP image into JPG. And now what we have the our image size approx 1.5 MB. So approx we have reduced so much size of the our image. So JPG itself is image compression technique, and in this PCA can improve to reduce the size of the image. And that is this example where we can learn the PCA. So this is this application where we can use the PCA properly. So that is the matter. Okay, and after understanding this point, because I'm focusing on important point over here, that is a point please keep in mind. So I can write over here the point you people are required to keep in mind. So while what are those important points keep in mind? So I'm writing here properly so you can understand. Keep in mind what why I'm saying why this paragraph or this slide content you must keep in mind, because we have some important words over here and which describe the important things to understand the PCA by the mathematically. So let me explain what are the important points. PCA works by considering the variance. So please keep in mind variance of each attribute. Of each attribute, please keep in mind of each attribute means we're talking about each column of the our table or each features. And it reduce see due to these features what we are doing, we are just having the high attribute shows a good split between the class. So suppose we have an attribute and that can be split, it is possible to split over such attribute, so we can do, and PCA will help you to reduce its size. So hence it reduces the dimensionality, and in the real world application PCA is image processing, as I told you, image processing, movie recommendation system, okay, optimizing the power allocation in various communication channel. I can explain this example just like this one. Suppose we have the channel 1, TH1, communication channel 1, communication channel 2, communication channel 3, and communication channel 4. Suppose we have the communication channel 4 and these channels are sharing some information like this one, and sharing information means power allocation. But unfortunately, there is a channel number 3 is not usable by the any one of the household person. So the load or the information can be distributed by the CH1, CH2, and CH4. So this would be becomes as a deactivate. So this will become as a deactivate channel. So definitely PCA is just what tries to do. Before we had 4 communication channel, but after the applying the PCA mechanism, and we have found that CH4, that is channel communication number 3, is not usable by any household right now. So the transformation of the electron on this communication channel or this kind of the power allocation channel, we will not go. So how many we have? 3. So what you are doing right now? You are just trying to reduce dimensionality of features 4 to 3 or high to low. So this 3 is just lower than the its previous defined things, that is a 4. So from this point, we can understand PCA is applicable anywhere in practical life, of course. So what is the point? You just need to keep in mind variance. Variance is a mathematical or technique, or that is a part of the statistical tool which describe that PCA is always works variance, and without determining the variance of your features, you will not calculate anything properly. So variance and covariance vector to understand this algorithm. So this algorithm can be understood by the simple way. Okay. So here we have next term we have the algorithm. So before jumping to algorithm and its fundamental stuff about that, what are the various points required to understand the PCA? Just if you have any doubt, then you can ask me right now. In between you have any doubt, so please you can ask me right now. Yes, the fundamental part is clear. Or anything you want to ask, please tell me. Yes, any doubt you have, please, student, you can ask me right now. Or shall I move to the next slide?
Yes, sir. Move to next slide. No doubt, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I'm moving to the next slide over here. So here from this point, you people are required to understand the concept right now, because once you have skipped any other slide from this portion, you will not able to understand the step of the PCA, but frankly speaking. So keep in mind right now over the things properly. So PCA means principal component analysis algorithm is based on the some mathematical concepts such as variance and covariance. Okay. So what we are observing over here, here we have the two important terms. One is variance and other one is a covariance. And next mathematical part is saying to us, you must be known to about eigenvalues and eigenfactors, or we can say the eigenvectors. Okay, this is also known as our eigenfactor, or we can say it is also known as the eigenvector mathematically. Okay, so that is a portion you people are required to keep in mind. This is also known as the eigenvector or eigenfactor. So I am just writing here some eigenvector. Okay. So everything is not easy from this step because we need to understand some mathematical portion step by step. So I have a numerical for explaining my idea in simple way, and that is a better for you. Okay. So please keep in mind what are the important point we need to keep in mind. We have to keep in mind the some important mathematical terms. Those are the variance and covariance, eigenvalues and eigenvector. Let us understand something properly over here for a betterment than you can understand right now. So from this point, I'm going to explain the idea here with the simple way, then you will understand some common terms which is used by the PC algorithm, that is dimensionality. So I'm highlighting dimensionality right now. Okay, so what do you mean by the dimensionality? Dimensionality means we are discussing about the features, number of the features. Okay, no need to discuss more and more because we know what is mean by the dimensionality. Dimensionality means we are talking about the number of the features. As you can see over here, features and variable. Okay. Next term over here is describing to all the people right now, then correlation. Yes, of course. If you are choosing the feature, then correlation must be required. If there is no correlation with the features, then what is the sense of using the, or what is the sense of selecting the features? Suppose five features are correlated with each other very perfectly, but some features are not correlated. So we will discard, like example over here, weight and height are the features which are not correlated with the marks. So we can discard. Okay, so we can discard. That is the my point. So correlation, so let us understand what is mean by the correlation. Correlation is saying to us, it basically signifies that how strongly two variables are related to each other, such that if one changes, the other variable also get changed. If I'm doing something change into the one variable and another variable also change, then we can say we have a correlation. So the correlation value ranges from the -1 to 1. Okay, so this is range you people are required to keep in mind. And if you are getting some value into the -1, 0 and 1, suppose you are getting the value -1, it means the variables we are using inversely proportional to each other. Okay, it means we are changing something, but other variables also not change. +1 is saying to us, if you're changing something, then other variable also change. It means the variables are directly proportional to each other. But this is the point we need to keep in mind with the 0. So in the correlation 0, we are getting the 0 value, and it defines that there is no correlation between both variables. So 0 means we're talking about that there is no correlation. So orthogonal, what do you mean by the orthogonal? If you remember my words, as I told you, we can transform our correlated features into the uncorrelated feature, then orthogonal play important role. So it defines that variables that are not correlated to each other, and hence correlation between the pair of variable is 0. So that is the point we need to keep in mind. It means we are saying there is no correlations between two variables, then what we are getting? We are getting the its correlation value 0. So that is the point we have to keep in mind. Okay. Now, next mathematical part we have to discuss, that is the eigenvector. So what is eigenvectors? If there is square matrix M, so definitely this point you people are required to keep in mind. If there is square matrix of the M, what is square matrix? Square matrix means a matrix which is having by the number of the rows and column in equal way, just like 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 4 into 4, 5 into 5. It means d into d or n into n. So here n could be any number of the values. It defines the square matrix. And a non-zero vector b is given, and then b is our eigenvector. B will be our eigenvector, and there is a simple terms we need to keep in mind. And in this case, A is our matrix. Suppose A is our matrix, but which is a matrix? We can say A. If we're talking about the AB, so AB means B means eigenvector, but A is what? A is our covariance matrix. Okay, that is the point. So the point you need to keep in mind, covariance matrix and is a scalar of the scalar multiple of the B. That is our covariance matrix. So now let me see what is mean by the covariance matrix. Covariance matrix, we will see how to calculate the covariance matrix. So very frankly speaking, I will show you how to calculate the covariance matrix and in simple way rather than the wasting time. We will see how to calculate the covariance matrix because there is only the simple concept by which we will know. So before defining the covariance matrix, you people are required to calculate the variance, and so you people required to calculate the covariance. Then covariance can be calculated by the variance. So we will see each and everything step by step. First we need to calculate the variance, then covariance, and then represent it in information to the covariance matrix. And then we will implement the we will try to calculate the eigenvector. So today I will show you a numerical example by which we will see how to calculate the how to determine the covariance matrix. So eigenvector, eigenvalues, I will have the solution. So I will discuss something with the help of solution. So I will not show you my demonstration to determine the values of the eigenvector, eigenvalues. Okay, so that is a simple solution I have. But the thing we need to keep in mind how to calculate the or how to represent the covariance matrix, because this is the most important point. Why? Again, PCA works by considering the variance. That is the point. That's the reason. So these are the various terms which are required to represent the some common terms in the PCL. Tell me any doubt you are having right now. So please you can ask me. Any doubt you are having?
Sir, sir, yeah, orthogonal means no, it is zero only, no, sir.
Which one?
Orthogonal.
So orthogonal means we have no correlations. Okay, it defines the variable that are no correlated. It means when the variables which are not representing by the correlations, it means we have the orthogonal. Okay, so that is simple term. Everything is written over here. No? Correlation means
Yes.
pair variables are having the value 0. Okay, so that is
Yes, sir.
okay. So now let us understand it's so this is a theoretical portion. So I'm just leaving or I'm skipping this slide because we have already discussed. This is just describing the things we have already discussed, just like the orthogonal. It means variable is 0, and we can put the values -1 to 1. Okay, that is portion. So this is a not required portion. But step in the PC algorithm is a more important point. So I'm just explaining this point right now properly, then you can understand properly. So what are the important steps we need to keep in mind? So let us understand the step-by-step answer properly. And whenever you have any doubts, then you can ask me. And same these steps we will try to understand with the help of the numericals. Don't worry, okay? So what is the first step for the PC algorithm? Getting the data set. Without the data set, how you can solve the problem? This is the biggest challenge. Okay, so this is the first step. Second step, after getting the data set, if you have an incomplete data set, then you must have the complete data set. The second step is saying to us, representing data into the structure, it is required, and we have to keep in mind, in this case, we need to define the voice, which is the independent variable, which is the independent variable. So that, from that portion, we will identify how many features we have. Okay, so that is an important point. These two steps are clear. Getting the data set, representing data into the structure, or any doubt you have, please you can ask me right now. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Third step, standardizing the data. So you people can ask me right now, so what is the standardizing the data? This step is saying to us when you have the large volume of the value in the terms of the integer, just like the 200, 250, 900, so on 300, 100, 50, 60. So you can do the calculation as a manually for the small amount data set in simple way. But when we have the large volume of data set, when we have the 10 or 12 features, and from that portion, if we need to do solve a problem, no, then it will not be easy to solve a problem. You can solve, but it takes much time for the calculation. So multiply between all the performing the any calculation with the small values, it will take less time compared by the if you're calculating the large value. Suppose I'm multiplying the 90 into the 60, so I can do, but it takes much time internally by my device. But I'm multiplying the one into 2, so I can do, it will be very simple calculation, and for my understanding purpose, my machine can calculate the thing in simple way. So at the last, I will get the some values in small amount term. So calculation can be simplified by changing or transforming your values into the some range. And what is the range? I will tell you into the practical way, so don't worry. So standardizing the data can be done by the its simple formula. So don't worry, I will share the formula while discussing the practicalization. So that is a portion. But here, while discussing the numerical portion, we have the small amount of the value. So we will not do any kind thing by the standardizing data. So that, but we need to keep in mind. Okay, so this standardizing the data is applicable when we have the practicalizations. Don't worry. But for numerical purpose, it is not required. You can do, but it is not required. So we can do our activity in simple way. So why we are transforming such information? So no required. Okay. But if you want, then you can transform. No issue. So standardizing the data, we have this portion right now. Next step is most important steps. That is the variance. But from this covariance, we must to calculate the covariance. Variance mean all these terms are required portion. So calculating the covariance of the Z. So what is Z? Z is the our data or matrix which is to be transform your information into the standardized way. So we have this matrix, and we need to calculate the covariance of the Z matrix. Okay, and that is the important point for calculating the covariance. It means you are trying to represent your answer in terms of the matrix, and that is known as the covariance matrix. And covariance, for calculating the covariance matrix, you must calculate the covariance and then you must calculate the variance. And next, we need to calculate the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Of course, it is required steps, and that is the important point where we can reduce our dimensionalities. Okay, so this is the fundamental part of your statistical tool. When we have our multiple dimensionality, or on a surface we have the 3D or 4D information, and if we need to transfer our 3D 4D information to 2D surface, then eigenvector and eigenvalues play important role at that time. But how we can understand this concept by the numerical, I will tell you, don't worry. And next step is saying to us sorting the eigenvectors. So we need to sorting the eigenvectors towards the eigenvalues. Okay, so don't worry, I will tell you each and everything by the numerical. Okay, so whenever you have any doubt, then you can ask me. But all these steps are required. So far we have seen the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Now, seventh step is saying to us calculating the new features or principal component. So from this point, after calculating the each and everything, we need to determine the thing from the updated matrix of the standardized matrix, and that is matrix is known as the Z star matrix. So we have from this matrix we will see the result that is known as the W matrix. So W matrix you will understand by the numerical portion. Don't worry. And from this perspective, you can easily say what is mean by the principal component. So principal component is nothing which is just only the our low dimensionality based values as we will get. Okay, so that is the thing, and it means from this perspective we will decide the new features. And last step, we need to remove the unnecessary or important features. Suppose out of the marks and weight and height features, if I'm removing the weight and height, I'm selecting only the mark feature or marks column, marks attribute. But what I need to do? I need to remove the height and weight features. So that is a step. Okay, so these are the various steps to determine our algorithm. So this algorithm is clear to all right now. Just tell me any doubt you are having. So please you can ask me. Algorithm is clear.
Clear.
Okay.